And there's
If you think that canyon trail is hard, dude, go to the bottom, come up that trail up to the top of the mountain.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of vertical hikes.
I got news.
I don't like my carotid artery pumping out a jungle beat, you know, in my brain. It's like, this is enough. Yeah.
in the winter with the snow, you'd strap on your
Your
cross-country-
spikes, wouldn't you? Or
strap on your cross-country skis and go down.
not being a very... I love the winter. When we lived in Argentina, we used to go to Bariloche, you know, where the highest peak in the Andes chain is. But Mount Aconcagua. So the winters were wonderful because it's the counter season, as you both already know. And you get to learn to ski with the U.S. Olympic team. That was fun.
Oh, yeah.
But I want to get back to... Now, where are the big skiing spots around here? Mount Adams or...
No, not Mount Adams at all. So there's one down in Oregon called in Anthony. And there's one in Wenatchee.
So you're talking a 4-hour drive either way?
Or more.
Yeah.
And then there's Big Mountain. There's one in Oregon, Mount Baker area. There's a big ski area that's north of Rainier.
Right.
Is White Pass?
White Pass.
Ern likes to go to White Pass.
White Pass is probably the best, closest one. But the one in Oregon is Anthony Lake. That's got the best vertical.
Anthony Lake?
Right. But
Okay.
it's got good, usually has good snow all winter.
Great. What kind of a vertical drop do you have there?
Well, I couldn't tell you. That's a secret.
They say Mount Adams has an 8,000 foot drop or run or whatever you want to call it.
I'm not aware of a ski area on Mount Adams.
Uh-huh.
You're not thinking of
Hood.
you're not thinking of Hood, are you?
No, I Googled it. It's Mount Adams skiing or something. They give you all the data on it. But,
I'm more familiar with Mount Adams as a place to climb.
yeah.
And then they have great glissading areas for coming down.
Uh-huh.
Are you familiar with that?
No, I'm not.
So, on Mount Adams especially, they're coming down through the snowfields. People will sit down in the snow and slide down. And
Interesting.
after a few have gone, you get a trough. And they call it glissading.
Huh.
Some will grab a piece of plastic or whatever.
Right.
But you can come off that mountain in 40 minutes after 5 or 6 hours.
Oh, wow.
It's a real ride.
So it's a manual pursuit for a few moments. Well, not moments. That's a fun run, a half an hour, huh?
Yeah, it's good. Good run. Yep.
Yeah. And this is where?
Mount Adams.
Oh, okay. So it is at Mount Adams. Okay.
It's north of, it's between Hood and
Okay.
Mount Hill.
Well, after 62 years on this planet, I finally came to Oregon a few weeks ago for the first time. I've made 2 trips back and forth. Well, I've made 1 round trip to San Diego, and I just made a 2nd trip up. I got in, it'll be a week this coming Tuesday. But I drove the Oregon coast. Oh, it was beautiful, beautiful.
But there's a good, I don't know if I said Bachelor.
No, you haven't. That's probably what you're thinking about, Mount Bachelor. That has more of a commercial name, doesn't it? It's more famous.
That's a great ski area.
Yeah. And how far is that from here?
5 hours, 6 hours.
5-hour drive. What about Squamish? Did I say that properly?
Over on the left side?
Could be something like that.
I'm not a fan
Are you thinking of Snoqualmie?
Yeah, there you go. Snoqualmie.
About 3 hours.
3 hours from here? Is that a big Seattle area ski place?
It's on the road to Seattle.
Yeah.
The Snoqualmie Pass is where the ski area is.
Uh-huh.
So that's a 3-hour drive.
It's called Snoqualmie.
Snoqualmie.
Yes,
Okay.
So yeah, you'll get a lot of Seattle people coming up from Seattle because that's the
Right.
Yeah.
Sort of like Leavenworth, the same way. It's all
Kind of, yeah.
a day trip for people from
It's actually
Seattle.
probably easier to get to Snoqualmie than Leavenworth.
Interesting.
In the winter, that's the toughest pass to get through.
Huh.
They keep it well maintained,
Mhm.
but there are times when it gets shut down.
You
Wow.
mean to Leavenworth or to
To Seattle.
To Snoqualmie?
With pass, yeah.
Huh.
It's high.
Uh-huh.
It's 3-something,
Wow.
3,000 feet. But they really work hard to keep it clean.
If that fails, you go white, and if that fails, you take the gorge.
Huh. What are the two alternatives?
What's that?
What are the two alternatives to that pass?
White Pass.
White Pass, okay.
South of Snoqualmie.
Okay.
And then if this is your first time in the area, what you really ought to do, maybe you did this when you were
I want to go take a driving course.
what you should do is you should drive down. Did you drive the gorge, the Columbia?
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
Okay.
Came along the 84.
Yeah. Take the other side.
Okay, go around Yakima.
Washington 14, other side
Okay.
of the river.
Oh, okay, okay. I will. So part of the duties here is that we, oversee the two stores. So the Yakima store, there will be a weekly drive over to Yakima throughout the year, and maybe sometimes 2 times a week.
There's a really good Indian restaurant in Yakima.
Okay, love it.
Yep.
What's your favorite plate in Indian food?
Oh, my go-to is usually the Mutter Paneer.
Mutter?
Mutter Paneer.
Okay.
Yeah, the peas and cheese.
Oh, okay.
There's
Okay.
Have
I'm a big curry guy myself, but
you been to the 2 Indian restaurants here in town?
no, I have not. I saw one at Kennewick there's a huge one. It looks like a palace near the Brazilian steakhouse.
Maharaja.
Yes.
They're good. They don't. I don't think they got their buffet back on yet. But then there's another one in Kennewick on Kennewick Avenue, just east or just west of 395.
Okay.
called
Masala?
Masala.
Okay.
And they have buffets Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
Yeah.
Of what they do.
So is that a common thread here in the Tri-Cities? People like Indian food?
No.
No?
It's not.
It's an acquired
I
taste?
came from Chicago.
Okay.
So
There's my boy from the Windy City. I love it.
we don't have nearly the ethnic population from that part of the world. So there's not nearly the competition
Right.
or the built-in.
But boy, are they up and down the 5. Every stop now has an Indian-themed fast food or restaurant style. I mean, it's amazing.
My wife and I are driving down to Southern California for Christmas. My brother lives down there in LA.
Okay.
So we have to head up. We were thinking we were going to take the inland route.
Yeah.
Maybe you have to go over to the 5 to get some good Indian food.
Yeah. Really, with all the construction going on, the 101's the best way to go down. I came up this trip. I hugged the coast. The first trip, I came up the 5. And my concern is this last trip I brought the 3rd car up, which is an older car, the Kia Borrego, which you'll get to meet in a few minutes. You already have, but that car has taken me everywhere, and I'm not letting go of it. So I drove up the coast, but I was surprised that at such low elevations you could get snow. You know, in San Diego County, you don't get snow below 4,000 feet. And that's if and when you get snow. And yet along here, probably less than 1,000 feet, you can get snow. Well, obviously, at these latitudes, you get snow at sea level. So
when you're planning to go back, you want another pretty drive.
yes, I always
drive.
do.
It's
I
a
always.
different drive, but it's a pretty drive.
Yes.
It's a very different drive. Go look for Highway 97.
Okay.
Highway 97 from Biggs Junction.
Yep.
Yeah, I took that. We went right by Mount Shasta. Once you go past Weed, you leave Weed and make a right, and you scurry around the base of Mount Shasta. We took that drive coming up, and then going down, we went 84 to 5.
Yeah.
I visited.
Yeah, so you take that down through Madras and
Uh-huh.
oh, what is it? What is it down there? Bend? You go through
Right,
Bend?
right. You do go through Bend. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, Sisters, Bend.
yeah.
And then what's the when you get into California, what's the city there? I'm trying to remember.
Right on the border.
Yeah, when you come off of the 5.
Yeah.
You got Medford on the Oregon side.
Yeah.
You're right down by the border.
Roseburg. is down
That
there.
sounds like it. Yeah, that rings a
Yeah,
bell.
Grand. Is it Grand?
Oh, I can't remember. Anyway.
Redding's the first
Redding.
big city.
Redding.
Yeah, we overnighted at Redding
That's
on the
what
way
My
up.
wife and I are planning to do.
Yeah.
Redding.
They have a lovely Hilton Garden Inn suites. We had the dog with us, so we had a beautiful 2-bedroom suite. It was a little spendy. They tack on $75 for the dog, and it starts at about. It ended up costing close to $400 by the time we left. That wasn't good.
We're on the Marriott point, so we'll
Okay.
probably go to the Township suite.
Gotcha.
The dogs as well.
Nice, nice. Hilton does. I don't know if it's all dogs in Oregon or Washington or California, but Hilton certainly is dog friendly with their Hampton Inns. I would have gone for the Hampton Inn that starts at $150 a night, you know, plus whatever you're going to get dinged for. But anyway, it is what it is. Had the 2 kids with us, so we could justify it. But on the way down south with my daughter, we pulled off at Williams. There's a rest area, one of the few that's open along the 5. Oh my God, there's no sense of tourist information or rest areas anymore in California. It used to be so beautiful, you know, and it used to be a joy to pull off, but not anymore. They're all shut down. You can't count on your GPS either. You know, you think, okay, next rest area, and that's a misnomer. But yeah, so Williams, we pulled off. I let my daughter sleep, and I might have slept a couple hours, but by about 3 in the morning, we're from 9 till 3. We just sat there, but the restrooms were a mess. They were invaded with crickets, black crickets, everywhere. It looked like an Indiana Jones movie. But anyway, that's the sad state of the California, whatever you want to call it, nightmare. It's too bad running.
So what's with California anyway? It sounds like it's turning into like Escape from New York, that old movie.
Yeah. Oh, you mean Apache Fort Bronx, or?
the whole California is just.
Well, you know, the problem is our media gives us a distorted vision. And when you finally get there, I was expecting to see Portland, you know, like a war zone.
Yeah.
I didn't see that. I did see, you know, there's a homeless issue. And unfortunately, what happens is when you live in a nice place, everybody wants to live there. So then we have 2 major crises that I would say, and they really boil down to one. It's the mental health issue in our country, which was exacerbated by COVID. And so if we weren't prepared to deal with our homeless population before COVID, you can kiss it goodbye now. There just isn't anything being done, and the people are, you know, defecating in the streets. And what do? You know, it's really, unless that's where you need what my father used to call a benevolent dictator, you know, like the guy in Singapore. You need to come in and start lopping some head offs. You don't have to be that drastic, but look, we need to round these people up. Beverly Hills should look nice. It shouldn't be, you know, I mean, the people get the community they deserve or they live in, and so why not?
We're talking Pinochet, we'll have Pinochet go take the people for helicopter rides.
Yeah, I wouldn't go that far, but I mean, I think,
You said lopping heads.
well, I was
Right,
joking, obviously.
A little less extreme than lopping.
Yeah. Well, if you're going to drop somebody out of a helicopter, you might as well just save time and lop their head off, right? And that's terrible. I apologize for that.
We'll do the KGB thing of here, write a letter to the premier, and we're going to put a 9mm in the back of your head, and,
Right.
and bill your family for the car chase.
So I have, I was sent some pictures that were unbelievable. And there's a picture of a Russian spy being executed during World War II. And he's laughing. That's how he chose to embrace the inevitable, or the presumed outcome anyway, which sometimes the trigger could jam, somebody might come over the hill and you could be spared, but he chose to laugh in his captive's face. So that's that story. But yeah, so getting back to California, it's everybody, like you said earlier, no one wants to take a position. No one wants to say this is wrong or you're bad, or this doesn't work in our culture. I'm sorry,
We're learning now that marriage is racist, right? That's what they're teaching.
Oh
at
my
Harvard
God.
and
Oh my
Stanford.
God.
The whole Ivy League now is captured by this ideology.
Oh God, yeah. Let me tell you a sad story that brings that point home. I told you about my second cousin who's at Sandia Labs, and the younger cousin that I get along with. That we're very close. And he married a Japanese gal, so they have a mixed culture, right? So there's the white boy with the Japanese, and he's embraced the culture. He was teaching English. He has a master's in English. He was teaching English in Japan. And his daughters both have graduate level degrees. One has a PhD from Johns Hopkins just recently. So Genentech and all those people are looking for her. And the other daughter's teaching school in some gifted program in New York City. His daughter turned to him after, now these people are 27 years old. They've been on the planet for a few spins. They turned to him and said, "You're white. You're a racist." I said, "My God, didn't you learn anything about me in 27 years? Think of that."
Racist, why would I marry your mother?
Yeah, let's start right there. And why do I embrace, Good morning, ladies. Beautiful Sunday to you. So, it's just a crazy mixed up world we live in. And the problem is when you give people too much leash, you got to keep them on a leash. They need to know where that electric wire is,
Who holds the leash?
Yeah, that was my dad's favorite quote. He'd always say, "Who gets to make the rules?"
Is it going to be the? Where's the Bill Buckley? Where's the Dulles brothers?
Yeah.
I'm not going to find them in the league if that's what they're teaching.
Well, they're just minding their own business now. They're out there,
But I can't count on. Right?
No.
I can't count on the Ivy
No.
League to be the best anymore if it's all locked up in
Right. Well, here's
How do
the
you have those conversations?
right without being,
Democrats and
threatened.
Buckley Republicans?
Oh my God, yeah, they call you every name in the book for having an opinion. That's the beauty of the world, and to respect each other's opinions, I don't have to follow your opinions, but I can respect your right to have one, to formulate one.
Evil, like
Yeah.
racist because
Right. But see, that's just, what do they call it? When you have there's a word for it in engineering where you have like a fallback, like everything happens. What's the word for it? Your fail-safe, or your... Yeah, the fail-safe. So the fail-safe for a liberal, because I think we live in a liberal-conservative divide, and it's split right down the middle. If you believe the numbers tell us that this country, there's no majority. We do not have a majority of opinion. And the saddest part is that the only thing we should all agree on is that we love our country and that we want the best for one another,
And you know what gives me hope?
Huh.
You know what gives me hope? Right over there.
You're home?
Nope. Right over there.
Uh-huh.
Let's see. Am I looking the right place? I'm sure I'm pointing the right place. It's over there.
Oh, okay.
There is a marijuana shop.
Okay. What's it called?
What's it?
The Peace Pipe?
It's not the Peace Pipe. Nirvana.
Nirvana. Okay.
And the reason it gives me hope
Uh-huh.
is because today was the first time, literally the first time since they went in 3, 4, 5 years ago.
Uh-huh.
Today was the first time I drove by and did not see 10 cars in the parking lot.
Oh, that's an interesting commentary.
And it gives me hope because I know every single one of those people is committing a federal felony.
Exactly.
Okay?
God bless you. Finally, some reason in this mad, crazy world.
But reason it gives me hope
Yeah.
is because the state of Washington has told the federal government this far and no further.
Uh-huh.
Okay?
Uh-huh.
Which means that if you're a conservative,
Right.
you can go to Florida and you can live by your convictions. If you're a liberal, you can go to California and live by your convictions and live
Right.
the consequences of the people you voted.
But you know what's really sad?
And if you
Is that
if you like
California-
the homeless, if you
Yeah.
like the lack of mental health support,
Okay,
then
but
you can move to Portland and live with it.
yeah, but listen, both Oregon and California get a black eye because they get painted by a blue brush, and they're not blue states. I beg to differ with you.
Outside of Portland, that's for
Well, no, I know that, and so here's what happens. Like Rick Rothstein would say, it's all statistics, right? So, okay, you have one city, maybe two, Los Angeles and San Francisco, wagging the tail of the most productive state agriculturally, you know, in the history of the United States, could feed the world, and then they go and tear it apart because they have the numbers on their side. And
Remember
it's,
where I came from? Chicago?
yeah,
Hello?
yeah, I hear you. But you know what? Illinois, there are plenty of red-blooded Americans there. Not that your blood has anything to do with it, but anyway, yeah,
But
it's
anyway, that gives me hope because we have a
Yeah.
federal system. There's nobody who can capture it.
right. But the problem is they're not enforcing the law. Why aren't, you know, I mean, I could see the nightmare, you know,
What law are we talking about?
well, the law on drugs, for God's
And my
sake.
point
It's
is
all
that-
illegal to start with.
My point is that
Yep.
the state is choosing
Yeah,
what policy
yeah.
works. And so we learn from that.
right.
We
Learn from
and
their
if-
mistakes.
And if it gets bad enough,
Yeah.
we'll pull back from it like we did from yeah. I mean, look, if you took a constitutional amendment
Uh-huh.
to stop alcohol, right? Why
Right.
didn't you take a constitutional amendment to stop marijuana?
Yeah.
You know, it should have, right? And so now the states are finally pushing back on it.
Well, if they do nothing more than just enforce the laws on the books in the states, under 21, no drugs, period. Bam, you know, no alcohol, none of that. But that's where we're really messed up. Anyway, well, it's been a true joy to speak with both of you. I meet so many fascinating people here in the Tri-Cities area. And everyone's an apologist. Oh, it's boring here. Boring? I've had the most intellectually stimulating conversations and just enjoying all around great people.
And when I'm traveling, I want to